Quante Gillians, Syracuse commit, and I'm blessed to be here with Mike Taylor, owner and operator of Henrietta Chick-fil-A.
Hey, man.
What's going on?
What's up, man?
I just got a question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just get right into it. How do you trust, like, going through all your process of life? Obviously, successful businessman now. How do you like find the people you can trust and who you can't?
So I'm gonna be very transparent with you, man. You're gonna fail in that numerous times. And through them failures, you're gonna understand more and more about who you can trust and who you can't trust. I'm talking about even family as well, because there's been a few times even in my journey where I've learned that I've had to keep some family members at bay. One of my favorite quotes, I guess you could say, is actually from Steve Harvey, where he said, sometimes his family members would call him and be like, hey, they need a couple bucks or something.
Right.
And he was like, who would you call if you weren't going to call me? Then get to calling. So I just say that to you because you're very much going to fail when it comes to understanding that. But when you do find that circle, you got to keep it as small as possible. One of my best friends, he's always been with me through thick and thin. And I'm talking about through a lot of thick things and certain hardships I probably put him through. And if you could go through the fire with me, then I know you'll stand with me through anything. And not too many people that you come in contact with are going to be willing to stand in that fire with you. But then you also know that God has given you a gift of discernment. And so sometimes you get those feelings when you're around certain people. Sometimes when the women come around, you get them feelings where you just kind of know that this ain't right, or something ain't right. And a lot of times we put those feelings or those words or those thoughts in our heads to the sides because, you know what, this person's cool, or I want to hang out with them, or like I said, with the ladies, hey, look, they just look good. But in all actuality, that feeling is actually God speaking to you saying, hey, this ain't it. Right. So I just tell you, understanding that you're going to fail during that time. But as long as you learn from it, it's not really failure because you learn from it. But also understanding, listening to your inner person, listening to God when you hear those red flags when they come up. But also understanding you got a voice and you need to use it. So if somebody comes up to you, and obviously you're going to make it to the NFL because I'm speaking life into you. So when you make it into the NFL and people start coming out through the woodwinks and start asking you different things of the sort, use your voice. Nah, not today. Yeah, you get calling on somebody else.
Right. Thank you. I'm definitely use that the Steve Harvey quote for sure. I'm definitely use that if I make it. My second question really is I know we talked about before the interview your journey playing college football at West Virginia.
Yeah.
My question is, like, when you got hurt, like, how'd you like manage to come back and be successful like this? Because I know if I got hurt like that, I don't know what I'd do. So
yeah. So the way I was raised, my dad being military, my mom just being the catalyst, if you want to, the leader of the household, if you want to put it that way. They never let me kind of mope when I used to be on crutches. And I was on crutches for almost a whole year, bedridden for 8 months. So you can imagine, like, I always joke with people, I started to look like Moses because my hair started to get real wild. I was growing a whole beard because I just had to sit in bed all the time. But there was a moment that I always tell people where I was sitting in the hospital room, and when I was sitting in the hospital room, the doctor had told me straight up, he said, well, he didn't say it to me, he said it to my mother, but I was in the room, so he basically was talking to me. And what he said is Mike will never walk normal again. And if he walks, he'll always need a crutch or he'll always need some type of cane. That didn't sit well with me. But then it didn't sit well with me with the way that my mom looked. And that feeling of the way she looked, and then even coming home and, I couldn't do normal things like I couldn't take a shower, I couldn't go to the bathroom. But looking at my mother and looking at my father and the look on their face of just pure sadness gave me a different type of determination that I've never really experienced before. And so beating those odds, and I tell people, like, I did beat the odds because with the type of injury that I had, and I have severe nerve damage in my foot, I don't claim that in Jesus' name, but what they say I have, I was able to do certain things that wasn't expected. And I still remember when I went to physical therapy and the first time when I actually had to learn how to walk and I fell over because there was just no feeling in my leg. That's a different type of humbleness that you have to experience, where your body is telling you, like you're supposed to be doing this, but you just can't. Right. And so when you realize, like, hey, look, you got people depending on you. You got people that like have motivated you all your life is a different type of hunger. It's a different type of motivation. And I still remember the first time I actually was able to step on a treadmill and walk. It was a proud moment. But then you want to push that envelope. So I could walk right now. How quickly can I run? I can run right now. How quickly can I squat? I used to squat a little over 500 pounds. Let me see how quick I can get back to that.
Right.
You know, there is a different type of motivation that you'll get, but you have to be able to rely on your family as that motivation. So that's just something I would say to you when you get into the league, when you play in college, when you eventually get into the NFL, never forget that about the people who have helped you along the journey, the different teachings, your mother, your father, your brothers, your sisters, everybody that they've given you, the people who have never let you down. Those are the type of people that's going to keep you grounded, keep you humble, keep you focused, and keep you determined. And so if you ever experience injury, which I'll never speak over anybody in life, that's going to be kind of that motivation and keep you pushing forward.
Right. And last, my third question is really, how do you tell people no? Like, because like you said in the, for my first question, you told like you have family members that are calling you, telling you no.
Yeah.
And you got friends that probably called you. You had to unfortunately tell them no.
Yeah.
So I'm just like wondering how you were able to go through with that.
You got to get used to it. You got to get used to it. You got to find your voice, and God is giving you a voice. And so the fact of the matter is, when something's not right, you got to say no. I never like to be a yes person, because the more you're a yes person, the more your money's going to start to dwindle, the more your reputation is going to start to dwindle, the more you're going to be put in certain situations that you never want to be put in, and the more you say yes on it. And sometimes no is the most powerful thing that you can say. And so for me, being able to say no is something that it was hard in the very beginning, especially to family members.
Right.
But you have to be able to do it. And it's something that you have to basically tell yourself, I got to say no. And so once you say no, now it's very easy to me. I'll be honest with you. I can say no now. Very, very simple now. Just say, hey, I'm not going to do this. Or no, I'm not going to give you this. Or no, I'm not going to do this. It becomes more of a very consistent thing where it just becomes easy. But I just say to you, the first time, it's going to be hard. And the first time you say no, and depending on who the person is that you say no, I just tell you, prepare for being alone during that time. Be prepared for the name calling. Be prepared for the ridicule. Like, who? Oh, you missed a big shot now. You missed a big shot, so you can't do. So all you do. You remember when I gave you money in high school? You remember lunch? I gave you all that money. You got to be understanding that where you were is not where you are now.
Right.
And so you got to be able to say no. You know. So that would just be my piece of advice. But you asking me all these questions, brother. I got some questions for you. Obviously, you big time. You 3.0, 3.1 GPA. I'm sorry, I forgot I gotta give you that. You going to Syracuse? You gonna kill it as defensive end? I gotta know, how does that make you feel when it comes to going to Syracuse? Like, you well known. I'm just honored sitting here in your presence, brother. How does that make you feel going to Syracuse and about to be a game changer on that defensive line?
It feels great. Like I said, I feel like I found myself at home at Syracuse. Love my coaches there over there. Coach Nick, Coach Fran, Coach E. They just made me feel welcome right away. So being able to, like you said, be a game changer for them, staying at home in New York, having my friends, my family, quick access to come to see me play is just a great feeling.
Man, yeah. All I know is I better get some tickets too, because I'm trying to see you play. But you know, one of the things that you were talking about, we were talking a little bit on, is just your overall why. You know, when I run my business, I have my whys on that keeps me grounded. It keeps me focused during those hard days. And you, as obviously you know, there's going to be hard days. So what's your why?
My why really is being a provider, because I actually live with my grandma right now.
Okay.
I used to live in Atlanta with my mom, but I had to move out because some family things weren't going right. So I moved up here with my grandma. And seeing what my mom sacrificed for me to stay here and succeed in football and really just in life, it just moved me in a way that I know I have to provide for her when I'm in that position to be able to. So that's really my why, making sure she's straight, making sure my siblings are straight too. That's my why.
That's a very solid, and like how you were saying with your grandmothers, that's something that touches home with me just because my grandmothers were so influential in my life. One, I didn't know she passed away before I was born, but I still always wonder if I'm making her proud. And I just would tell you, cherish every single moment you have with them, because grandmothers and grandfathers can give you more wisdom than what you can truly understand. One of my last questions that I have for you is, when it comes to just your overall faith and just believing in God, how has your walk with God and your faith helped you to get to this point right now?
Just for him always being there. There's been some times throughout my journey playing football where I'm like, I'll just talk to him and be like, am I really good enough? Or did you really put me on this earth to be great at football and be able to use that and to help other people? Because like I said, there's a lot of times where I was just like, I don't know if I can really make it. I see other people, I'm like, oh, 5 stars, 4 stars, stuff like that. They're really good. But then I had to really think and be like, I know I'm putting in that work to be just as good as them. There's no reason why I can't make it and be just as good as them or even better. So just him always being there, and just always being an open ear, that's really what our relationship really bloomed from.
That's awesome, man. And like I said, you have a God-given talent, and it's only going to rise through the roof. I look forward to watching you playing in Syracuse and wrecking havoc, as we was talking. And even more importantly, as I said, speaking life into you. I look forward to seeing you eventually on Sundays, playing in the league. And I look forward to seeing many more, bro. Proud of you.